you?
Hi, Winnie. How are you doing?
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. It's my honor to have you today and talk about your services and your company and what I really appreciate as an Afghan SIV, an Afghan immigrant, what Americans are doing, American citizens are doing to help Afghan immigrants and refugees. I really appreciate for that. And I know it's not easy for you American citizens to see that crisis in Afghanistan, what's going on.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's a humanitarian issue and something that we want to help with. We were over in Afghanistan for so long, right?
Yeah.
That it's very nice to be able to, and Ally is on, good. It's very nice to be able to help in any way that we can.
Welcome, Ally.
Hi, it's such an honor to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Just, if you can tell about your general plan, general mission of company, what you guys are doing generally for refugees in this time of human crisis happening in Afghanistan, what you guys are doing right now, and why you came up with this plan to help people.
Sure. Alaya, do you want to go first or how do you want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that Wendy is here as one of our amazing partners representing Loyal Source, and it's been a combination of efforts with Loyal Source and with the Independence Fund, whom I work for as a casework director, to kind of come together and to notice some of the difficulties that are happening with our folks that are recently relocated here. So the Independence Fund, we as an organization have had a long-standing history of supporting our nation's veterans and our catastrophically wounded veterans community and their caregivers and their families and uplifting them. And, part of those family systems, part of those friend systems are the Afghan allies that stood alongside of us and served so honorably to make sure that we made it home to our families. And so here at the Independence Fund, and I think that we feel the same way, and that's why we work so well together, is we want to make sure that they are safe, that their families are safe, and that they're supported here within the community as they're resettling here in America and getting access to resources, and they're not walking alone in that. So the Independence Fund, we center our programs around catastrophically wounded veterans, like I said, and their family members, and we've extended those resources to SIV holders and SIV applicants that have served America effort overseas and to provide resources to them here. And then we have the joint collaboration, which is the independence line that we're working with Loyal Source to provide resources for the Afghan community. I'll let Wendy express more of that.
Sure. So at Loyal Source, we have been working with the refugee population, several different populations, but we really are, just so you know a background, we really are a full service healthcare solutions and tech solutions company, providing resources to public and private entities. And right now we are working along the border as well with our unaccompanied children population that are coming across the border, as well as with families that are coming across the border, many from Guatemala and Mexico and places like that. And then we are also helping in 3 of the different safe havens. So providing medical and behavioral health support in 3 of those areas, specifically with the Afghan population. We really did, and we're thrilled with the partnership with the Independence Fund, and we really did see a gap, really a critical gap in services, knowing that really this was an enormous humanitarian effort, and Loyal Source really jumped to the opportunity to work with the Independence Fund so we can help fill this need. At Loyal Source, we do have a long history of providing response to humanitarian crisis. We've done it for many, many years, and that's across the country. And like I said, we've done this for so many years. We're just super humbled to be able to support the Afghan population.
Yeah, I saw your brochures, and recently you sent it to me.
So, but it is a line. It's called the Independence Line. And it's a call center, and it's staffed with clinicians, it's staffed with case managers as well, who are providing all the resources that are required for anybody who calls in. So that could be a veteran who calls in, and I'll have Alaya talk a little bit more to the veteran side, or the Afghan population, a family, an individual, et cetera, who may need some resources currently as they're trying to resettle into our communities. So the number to that is we're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And then Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we've identified, we've had, a couple of hundred calls come in already. We've only been open less than a month. So that's really wonderful news. And we've been able to turn around and help every single individual that has required some sort of resources. But anyway, so yeah, so it's not 24 hours, but it is available. And in the after hours, they can leave a message. We get back with them first thing in the morning. And then, of course, people are asking for all different resources, whether it's housing needs, food, clothing, whatever it is, just maybe navigating whatever system it may be, how to get a driver's license, how to go to the grocery store, whatever that is, we can help provide them with any resource or service.
So there is it's also language is provided translated in Duri and Pashto to them, right?
Yes, we have translation services. Thank goodness to the Independence Fund who has helped us with that. And we can make that phone call and get those translation services available immediately. Yeah. And we've had to do that on several occasions.
Yeah, most of the question which I got from Afghan SIVs who are already in the United States, let's talk clearly. Anyone is coming from war zone, especially veterans or anyone. I have been in the special forces for 14 years as an embedded journalist and also intelligent researcher. So it's very hard to come in the United States, and everyone will have a PTSD and anxiety, and especially in this crisis happens in July up to now. Everyone is getting anxiety. Everyone is PTSD, especially me. I'm getting it too. We cannot ignore it. So what your organization can do for these people to advise them and provide medical advice or advice counseling?
Yeah, absolutely. We have clinicians on board right now that can connect them, especially if they're in immediate crisis, to services. To immediate services that can help them. We also, we triage and make sure, and we do assess what level of crisis they're in. If it's not crisis, but they're looking for maybe services, then we can certainly connect them with whatever service, that, again, required, mental health services, medical services, physical, mental, whatever it is, we can connect them with resources. Alaya, why don't you talk about the veterans and their family members and what we're doing specifically for them?
So, through our organization at the Independence Fund and also through my department, we provide long and short-term case management. And that's what my department oversees, is that casework coordination. And so one of the beautiful things that can happen, like another resource that is available, is if they do qualify, if they are SIV or SIV applicant, or a family member of SIV or SIV applicant, we are available to provide like case management or direct supportive services to them as well. And so we are only one of the many organizations that that the Independence Line can refer to. However, there is that direct connection. So if there is like a need within the community for mental health support or something like that, that is something that we've established with our veterans support, with our, with our allies support, and we can quickly access as well. So I just wanted to speak to that, so if you do know that there are SIV or SIV applicants or family members looking, they're more than welcome to reach out, to the Independence Line, and that case management resource, that additional support to walk through some of these systems, and is there for them, so they're not in it alone with some of the long-standing processes. So we can go beyond just a referral, and that's readily accessible. As far as what we're doing in the veteran community, we're really providing wraparound supportive services. So it's not just, one domain and we're giving someone a Band-Aid. We're giving them the tools to when they encounter a problem again, to work through that, to problem solve through it. And we're also genuinely giving them, options and, hopefully a fair view of what their entire situation looks like. So maybe we can target some of the key areas that they didn't know they were having issues with, or just overall improving the quality of life, again, for our Afghan allies and for the veterans. So any service that we have had traditionally in the Independence Fund, we've extended to our Afghan allies as well.
Yeah, since 2017 up to now, I'm doing a research, and sometimes I have my own shows doing public awareness for Afghan SIDs to be a bridge between American and Afghan culture. But more than 85% of SIDs are getting scared to share their PTSD problem or anxiety problem with the doctor. And there is some rumors, they are saying that if you share your problem with the doctor, it may be destroy your background and you cannot get a job, and it will go through to your record. What do you say on this one?
I think that's something that in the veteran community we understand very well and we can relate to. And like, I mean, I think that's why I mean, our heart is just overwhelmed with support for our allies. Truly, like as a veteran who served in Afghanistan myself, and truly within the organization, is we understand the stigma. You know, they've had the fake stigma against us for many years, saying, yo, you can't get a job after the military, or it's going to damage your career. And, you know, I want to say, like, professionally and also personally, like, there's just so much encouragement. I wish I could, you know, share it with you. And do not be scared. Do not be scared to take care of yourself, to get your own oxygen mask on, because the stronger you are, the stronger you can be for your family. And the most important thing is you're not alone in that. You know, we truly, we said allies for life, and that's what we're here to do, is to walk alongside. So what we can do to help get resources, please, you know, do not be scared. Confide in someone you trust, ask for help, you know, because we're here to support, you know, you getting that help, and we want to see that.
I saw in the brochure you mentioned about providing, helping to find the housing, like the people who recently stolen in the United States. So most of the people who came to the United States and they are still on the military bases, they are parole or P2 or P1 people. So they have a hard time to find a housing. So what your organization can do for them?
So I know when they call the Independence Line, we have a vast database full of resources in all different communities across the United States. So housing, it's not easy to find housing. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But we have many organizations, like Elias said, that are helping this population. And, you know, between Catholic Charities and Lutheran Services and our community resources, and I do encourage everybody still to connect to the Refugee Resettlement Office, at their nearest one in whatever community that they reside. And I know when they do depart the safe havens, they are given many resources. Take advantage of those resources and don't be afraid to call and seek help, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help, and we're here to connect them with whatever resources they need or requirements they need. Housing is difficult, but I know that the government is doing all they can to work within the communities and try to find housing opportunities.
I mean, if I was going to be looking for groceries again, I would probably most likely call the Independence Line, because the thing is, they have a database of resources that is based on location. And so you can see what's going on in local communities. There have been, and I can just speak from a case management side, there have been such an overwhelming amount of community support. Of course, it looks different, like you're saying, in different capacities in different communities. There are grocery delivery services. I've seen a few of them come forward, especially for people that might have like a disability or something like that, and not be able, like they need more accessible support. That's one that has come forward that I've seen. But I've also seen centers come forward and also say, like, hey, we're willing to pick up people and show them where these locations are and how they can get registered and get support. So again, just being able to go to that one support center and contact the Independence Line, like we're able to debunk some of that red tape. Well, what's going on in my community? Let's get you connected. Let's find out, where is your community at? Where are you located? And we can get you specialized with the state resources, the county resources. And then, yeah, if anything is going on in the individual city, you know, access that as well. Again, we've been extremely blessed with so many partners come forward and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, you know, and I think that was our first ask in sort of getting this set up is, hey, what are you guys doing? Because we want this to be effective and accessible. So that would be my response.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, that's why I encourage people to call the Independence line, because we've worked through all of these nuances. Let us do the work for them. That's what I say, because we've already done it. We have a team that's already, created these resources. And if we don't have the answer right there and then after what, when they call, within 24 hours, we're sending them the information that's required. So there's community food banks. There's other community resources. There's, our churches, our mosques. We've reached out to all the mosques. I shouldn't say all of them, but many across the nation, and provided them the resources too, for the Independence line. So they know that we're here and they know that we're here to help. But let us do the work for you, because that's what we've done.
Yeah.
Well, and I think just following up with that too is similarly, if they are an organization or an entity that wants to offer services, please get in touch with us. We're so welcome to that. We want the partnerships. We recognize that the community is as good as we are able to walk alongside of each other to really help people. So if you have people that are like, hey, I'm distributing food, I've got food, like, great, give us a call. Let us know where the food truck's going to be, because we're going to let people know that you're out there doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, because it's all about collaborating, and we don't know you unless you tell us that you're there. So that's perfect.
Since I started my Cobble to Sacramento show, and I got a break because they create a problem. And, the media field is not easy to work in Afghanistan. So also do public awareness. So before July up to now, when I started my own TV channel, Kauser, so many people will contact me how we can help Afghan immigrants. So you mentioned about the license, if people need a driving test or permit. How that classes are working? Are you have a special class to teach them how to drive, or you're introducing them to someone?
Yeah, it's not a class per se. It's what we do is we provide them the community resource. So we know it's difficult to navigate a lot of systems in the United States. It's difficult for me, and I was born and raised here, so I can't even imagine. And you had just mentioned like driving. So in order to get a license, we don't provide the class, but we can link them with an organization or a company that can help them learn how to drive. Or if they already know how to drive, then we can help them navigate the driver's license agency that can help, walk them through and let them know, yes, it's going to be a couple of hours. Don't get up and leave, or don't get off the phone, because they take a long time. So just understanding those little things like that make a world of difference for some people. But it's not really providing those. We don't give those classes. We can certainly help them connect with a service or an organization that does.
And I think a perfect example of that too is, like, we know that, like, here, for example, in our home area for the Independence Fund, the Charlotte area, like, some colleges have stepped up to the plate and they're offering like driving classes, but we know that that's like in certain counties and applicable to certain. So again, with those localized resources, like that being, that being key there. So, just a person calling in and telling us like what location they're at, and we'll work with our partners to see if we can get people services like in their targeted area.
And the one thing, can I just mention real quick, because you had mentioned something about, telling us the location and things where they are. We do ask for their information, and we do this on purpose. I want people to understand that we do not keep their personal information at all. So we don't share it. We don't give it out. We don't even keep it ourselves, but it gives us an idea of their needs and the requirements, where they're going to be located. And then the email, we do reply back to an email or even a phone call if they'll give us their phone. But an email is normally preferred, because then they're able to really read it and understand it a little bit better, or get somebody else to help them read it if there's a language barrier. But I mean, they can't, because we do have people that are afraid to call us and provide us with their information. And it's vital for us to have that. We're going to try to help them regardless. But we do prefer that they give us their information, at least in email, that we can provide them the services required.
Yeah, you mentioned about the legal services. Also, you guys are providing legal services.
Yeah.
What kind of support is that, legal services? Because recently most of Afghan insiders who are in the United States, they have a problem with the immigration control form. So
Yeah.
the immigration attorney as minimum charge one person is $400 just for immigration advice to fill out the form. So what your services can do for them?
Yeah, so we've connected with 3 or 4 different organizations that are providing free services. And really it's for the gamut of many reasons that people are reaching out because they do have loved ones and they kind of want to know how to navigate, getting them out of Afghanistan and trying to help them evacuate. That's something that we link them up with, Save Our Allies, which is another great resource, which I know the Independence Fund helped create, as well as, lawyers if they need legal services. But it really runs the gamut. And we have 3 really good organizations, 3 or 4, I want to say, organizations that are helping us and helping individuals navigate some of the issues around that.
Yeah, so as the Independent Line have a direct contact with any immigration attorney to work as a voluntary on immigration pro cases, because this is all news. Like everyone is walking around, especially me, needed for my family members 8 people. So some people, Afghans have a lot of kids, so 10 or 9 kids. So if someone to sponsor them, it costs like $20,000 or $15,000, and they cannot afford it. So as an immigration attorney to work voluntarily on immigration cases, like a parallel cases.
And we encourage, we do have those, lawyers who are working and attorneys who are working for free and voluntary services. But we encourage others to come forward and let us know if you're going to volunteer as well, because again, we can add them to our resource as a resource and a service for our Afghan population.
And the other thing too, just speaking with the legal cause, is like if they're getting ready to leave the safe havens, or if they've recently left the safe havens, again, I can't say it enough, but reconnecting with those resettlement organizations. In my experience in casework, many resettlement organizations are either offering free legal services for like the visa processing, those types of services, or they're offering it at a very like low cost supplemental rate. So that's where like some of these things, it becomes important that in that crucial, depending on the status of the visa, on that crucial 90-day window, like the first 90 days, that they're getting reconnected back with the resettlement organizations within their area. So they're checking on that. And again, we can walk them through all of that. If there's some question about like what benefits am I eligible for, what benefits can do, like I might have questions about, but I know that that is going to be a crucial issue with the legal services. And I highly encourage people to bridge that question before they become completely disconnected from the resettlement agency, like after the 90-day mark, because there might be a resource there that they can save a lot of money and time.
Yeah. So the people who are leaving the military base by their own choice, and they cannot receive their food stamp, and they cannot have a caseworker. If that people contact you in the middle line, what you can do for them? For example, I left the Fort Lee, without to inform the military people, and I am in New Jersey right now, and I got lost. If I contact the independent line, what you will give us advice? What will be advice?
Sure. For something like that, if you're getting lost, we definitely need to know your location and try to, help you walk through that and navigate that with you. Definitely one-on-one, we could do that for you. But it doesn't matter. I know, there are different categories, and regardless of the category, we're going to help. It doesn't matter who calls us. We're going to help you. We're going to help you wherever you are. If you're in that situation where you get lost and you need help right away, we'll do our best to walk you out of that using the maps and everything that we can do to do that. If you need, help with something else, we can certainly do it, regardless of what category that you fall into. If you're a parolee, if you're SIV, if you're P1, P2, it doesn't matter. We're going to help you regardless.
The women, especially the Afghan women who are journalists or civil society activists, they recently came to the United States. And some of the media and civil society activists, women, want to take actions. And they were still in the military base, they're waiting to process their document, but they're so useful to help the community by their own language, help the other women to talk about domestic violence, about to reduce the domestic violence value. What independent line and your organization can help them to raise up their voice and do more public awareness, and how they can be voluntary work with your team?
Yeah, I love that you brought that up, because right now, if they're at the safe havens, there's programs right now that are putting together cultural awareness. They're putting together classes and psychosocial education on domestic violence, child abuse, whatever it may be, and they need help. So I would encourage them to go to their behavioral health or the medical providers in their safe haven and volunteer and say, I can help. I would absolutely encourage that. And then, obviously there's a vetting process. We need to make sure that they have the background in order to help with that. But having somebody who can speak the language, it's invaluable. It really is. And then help us on our end to, become aware of the Afghan culture around some of these nuances too, and some of these issues. If they're already in the community, we have mental health services in the community through Health and Human Services. Almost every community has a Health and Human Services organization. I would absolutely go to them and encourage them to sit down and talk with them and let them know what they want to do and that they want to volunteer. They have a background and a passion for that.
Elia, Independence, your organization is based on which state especially, and how many states are covered by your organization?
All states, all of our states and territories covered, yes. So we're not in one location. We're remote. So we have clinicians and caseworkers. We have about 5 or 6 of them on right now, and they're located in all different areas. And that's the beauty about this call center, is that it's not in one location. We can help anybody wherever they're at. We've actually had calls from Afghanistan, direct from Afghanistan, and we've been able to help. So there's no barrier with that at all.
If someone calls from Afghanistan, I'm not sure they cannot share their locations, but if they fear someone is in the United States can talk with your team to explain more the situation, what you can do in the case, like what you guys going to take actions, or you're waiting for someone else to take action?
Well, a lot of times what we do is we, again, connect them with the resource. So most of the individuals that call from Afghanistan are calling because they need help with evacuation. So we walk them through the process of how to connect with Save Our Allies, who has a website, and they can register themselves, their family members, etc. We literally walk them through the process. And then follow up again with an email that provides all of the contact information and how to do that. Elia, you may have some additional information.
So Save Our Allies is a joint coalition from the Independence Fund and also from Mighty Oaks. And we are, the Independence Fund is focused here, like similar to working alongside of Loyal Source with on the ground actions here in the United States and serving people that are already here. However, the other aspect of the Save Our Allies coalition is Mighty Oaks, and they're focused more on evacuation. So if you go to saveourallies.org, there's actually a wealth of resources on there on how you can apply for evacuation for yourself or a loved one, and where you can put the information. And from there, the folks that are operating on that side, they have a protocol and a process that they go through to be able to assist people that are not here in the US yet. So they're actively working that side, and we're just so blessed again, like to have so many partners, so many organizations that have also stepped up in the fight to do something similar to, like I said, here with the Independence Line with Loyal Source and also with Mighty Oaks. I think that's why these partnerships work so well, is because we surround ourselves with doers who are here, more than just speaking what we're going to do to help people, we're actually going to do it and we're going to get behind it. And that's also the intent with our resource base. I can speak to that as well, is providing people with resources that are effective, that are warm resources that we know to be effective, and rather than just them having to bang on a door by themselves and hope that someone helps them. So we're honored again to be able to assist any way that we possibly can. And I encourage you to explore the saveourallies.org site and to get familiar or to share it with your audience as well.
Yeah, here is a problem. I'm receiving like every day 4,000, 5,000 calls from Afghanistan and from South Asia countries which refugees are. They're asking me, I work for Captain AYZ and he is in Washington, DC. Can you relocate it for him? Can you find his email address to him? Or they will ask, I work for this guy. Could you please go to his office or his home to ask for recommendation letter, HR letter, which is against of the DoD policy. We cannot track down the military people. So if you guys receive the same phone call, what you will do? What's your question? What's your answer? How are you going to guide them to find out their supervisors?
So I think it's a really challenging thing to locate. The U.S. is so big, right? So it's so challenging, and that's why we kind of rely on the people that we have in place doing those evacuation experts, because they really are the subject matter experts. Like we are, that's what we all focus on, our key areas and what we're best at, and we don't accept that we're best at everything, right? We have our niches, and that's what makes the community strong, is when we bring all those things together. So again, just leaning into those contacts that are focused on that. And I think also, if they have the point of contact, or they know their status, or they can just give as much information as possible when they're filling out that application on the site, that really helps the people to help them more efficiently. Like what is the last known visa status, because some of these folks were still processing before things happened and progressed, and then if they have the contact information of the person they're trying to reach, and again, they have a protocol for that. And if they go into that site, they can input their information and exactly what type of status that they're looking for under, the evacuation request.
That's so good. The reason which I'm asking you these questions, most of Afghans are getting confused and they're in a rush and they want to save themselves or their loved ones. So that's why in the line, I know the phone, you receive a lot of phone calls, different questions. They are confused and they don't know whatever they want, they're going to receive it, but it takes a time for it. So is any Afghan organization as partner of your team? Do you have any partnership with any Afghan organizations?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually are working alongside with Interpreting Freedom, which does they do many things, but among them is like peer support. Zia Ghafouri is the CEO over at Interpreting Freedom, and he's focused here in Charlotte, among other communities, in peer support with individuals. He was a former U.S. interpreter, and he has since settled here to help other families, other allies, to become situated and have the right support system here. So he works on a variety of domains, and his organization focuses on a variety of domains, but he's just one example, like in the community, of people that have pledged their support from a knowing lens, right? From a lived experience. And, and I think that's a beauty in it too, is like we have resources, but we learn a lot about how to help people when we're partnered with people that have already gone through that. So I think that we're definitely seeing some positive experiences with community organizations coming forward, and not just the Afghan community, but also like, how do I say it, organizations that have focused on other cultural movements into the United States, or refugee organizations working alongside of us as well, to really support, the needs of our allies resettling here. So that's been beautiful as well. Like there is a very diverse and colorful and beautiful reception to support And it's created such a good partnership with the resource community.
Well, Wendy, do you have any more to share with the people? Anything more useful? Like, I know you guys are doing a perfect job. And
Way. If we're on the line, there is answering machine that you can leave your information and we will call you right back. If we answer the phone right away and we understand that your needs, sometimes we can help that individual immediately, depending on the resources that we have in our database. And we do that a lot. If we can't help them immediately, we tell them that we will follow up within 24 hours. And a lot of times it's less than 24 hours. So like our night crew will get a call, say at 9 o'clock at night. And a lot of the resources are not available at that time, or the services for us to call and make that connection with the individual. So we call them first thing in the morning. Our daytime crew calls them first time in the morning, and then they follow up with the individual by email. So we have all of that documented to know that we've made that connection. And we encourage people. We've had people that have been so excited about this that they've called back multiple times and said, oh my gosh, now I need this. Or what about this? Do you know anything about X, Y, and Z? And we'll take care of it. Like I said, we don't turn anybody away. It's a one-stop call center where Afghan refugees, U.S. veterans, their family members can connect to resources such as housing, food insecurity, mental health, physical health, clothing, legal services, etc. And we get back with them immediately, or we get back with them within 24 hours if we can't take that phone call immediately. So we are kind of pride ourselves in the fact that we, do a quick turn and provide those resources very, very quickly to the individuals. And we've seen it in the number of callbacks that we've had.
Elia, do you have anything to share more with the people?
It's just an honor to again support. I think 11 years ago when I left Afghanistan, I never thought that I'd be in this position and be able to be able to give back in such a big way. And it is honorable, and I'm most grateful for the opportunity. I just want to encourage everyone really to reach out. I know what the stigma is like. We talked about that earlier. It's very real, and it's a tangible thing. It keeps people locked up in fear. But I want to encourage you to feel safe with us, to feel safe with these resources that we're providing, to know that, while our experiences might be different, you have support here. And we genuinely want to be there for you, and the other thing is, to reach out with any questions you may have. I know within the veteran community, I always tell my folks, I'm like, listen, whatever it is, I don't care. Just give us a call about it, because I would rather help you now than for there to be some misunderstanding. Lean into the support that is happening during the initial periods with the safe havens. Get connected with those resources. If you have questions, you're not sure that you're getting the right information, call the Independence line. Let us help you. We've been doing this. We've been working the cases since people started coming through the safe havens, and we want to make sure that you're connected with the right resources and support. And I think sometimes, as you said it before, you said it so well, but it's overwhelming, right? And we're kind of in a situation where we have to run and figure everything out. But lean into us to slow it down and make it digestible, and we'll help, where we can. We want to empower people to make the best choices that for themselves, for their families. And like Wendy said, some of this stuff I couldn't understand myself, if I didn't have a full team. So let us be the team behind you, helping you to feel supported. And we're so happy and grateful for your time today.
I'm sorry to ask you this question. You mentioned that 11 years ago you came from Afghanistan. So have you been before in Afghanistan? That's why now you're helping Afghans?
I think that both things happen. Ironically, I was in this position within the organization. I'm here because I love veterans. I love our allies. But it was just a very honorable opportunity for me to be able to assist our allies as well. But yes, I was there in 2010 to 2011. supporting with the Afghan all hands and some other US stuff. So it's definitely an honor to be here. And again, we're so grateful. And I thank you for having us on today.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, for
Thank
opening
you.
up and giving us the
Thank you so
opportunity.
much.